and up making it look flat.
Which means you normally get looming, which means you normally have it when you look horizontally, normally you'll be able to see over the horizon. So things are lifted up in effect. Most of the time, things are lifted up horizontally. Normally you'll be able to see over the horizon. So you'll be able to see over the horizon. So you'll be able to see over the horizon. Right. Why?
Okay, I will accept. If I accept that, so how do you prove that we are not looking at it directly if they look the same?
Because it's in the wrong position with respect to the horizon. Wrong position with respect to the horizon. Wrong position with respect to the horizon. Horizontally, normally you'll be able to see over the horizon. So can you not look at the diagrams?
I've looked at the definition that you cited. It very specifically says the appearance above the horizon. Doesn't say the horizon's being loomed, which is what you claimed. Our argument, Rumpus, which you're too stupid to understand, is about the horizon, not about the appearance of distant objects below or above the horizon. It's the horizon itself. But you're just too stupid to understand that, and seem to think that citing things that say that the looming of the horizon? No, that's not what Andrew Young's saying. You complete moron. So how do you prove that we are not looking at it directly if they look the same?
Because it's in the wrong position with respect to the horizon. Andrew Young's saying exactly what I'm saying.
So he's saying that the horizon's looming above the horizon, as per your explanation earlier. No, it doesn't say that. As per the Andrew Young website cited by you for an explanation in this regard, your explanation, the moron Rumpus, his explanation was that the horizon's looming, and he can cite a definition of looming, something he was very scared to answer. Very scared. Tried to distract away from it for quite a long time, didn't he? Telling us we were scared. That's called projection. Look it up. Psychological term. It's when the person themselves is terrified of defining the thing they've claimed explains their answer in a geometric impossibility known as the black swan, and their citation they're scared to go and get actually debunks them. Because according to the Andrew Young website that has been cited by the terrified little man known as the Rumpus, is that the appearance above the horizon of a distinct object that would normally be hidden below it. Well, that's not the horizon looming. That's completely in contrast to what you claimed. No wonder you were scared to go and define it with a citation. Scared because it doesn't back your argument, you pathetic little man.
It backs me up entirely, and you...
It backs you up entirely? Looming, as per the Andrew Young website cited incorrectly by the Rumpus when he claimed the horizon was also looming. It says, looming, the appearance above the horizon of a distant object that would normally be hidden below it. So not the horizon moving, you complete moron. This doesn't back you. No wonder you were so scared.
The horizon is an object, so it is...
Oh, sorry, the horizon's a physical object, is it? So the apparent horizon is now a physical object. That's a contradiction in terms. You're moronic.
It's lifted up. It's a real object, but it's a...
You stutter your way about what it's doing. Yeah, we know what it's doing. It's lifting up. It's not geometric. It's apparent. Not physical, not obscuring stuff in the distance, not curving at altitude, not the edge of a sphere. Apparent, that's right, Rumpus. Welcome to Flat Earth.
You see muting me all the time, Nathan, so you can't get my answers, can you?
I've heard your answer. Guys, chocolate. No, I heard your answer, Rumpus. You said the horizon was looming. Then you said that you wanted to define it in your own special order. We told you were scared of defining it. Then you finally defined it by Andrew Young's words, and it didn't back your argument that the horizon was looming. Now you're saying that your interpretation of the word object that moves respect to the horizon is actually the horizon? No, that doesn't make any logical sense that you would extrapolate that out.
Mute. I see. Right. So
sorry, is that an appeal to format fallacy? So rather than addressing the fact that the Andrew Young website that he cited, we had to go and look it up. He actually just gave us a full-on reference, and QE had to go and look it up for him because he doesn't understand what a citation is over a reference. Nevertheless, QE did exactly as he claimed, went to the specific part on looming by Andrew Young, And it absolutely did not back your argument that the horizon, something he describes, things, objects, moving with respect to, is actually an object that's moving with respect to the horizon things are moving with respect to. This makes no logical sense. And rather than addressing that, you've said mute, 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 mute. Yeah, that's because I don't want you talking through this devastating part of my argument. Now, are you going to appeal to format when I take you off mute, so you can't talk through me? Are you going to appeal to format, a logical fallacy, or address the fact that your citation doesn't talk about the horizon moving, it talks about things, objects, moving with respect to it?
Mute, mute, mute.
That's
mute.
another appeal to format fallacy, isn't it now? So I gave him another opportunity to discuss his logical fallacy and his incorrect assertion that the citation says that the horizon's being loomed with respect to the horizon, which makes absolutely no sense. Andrew Young does not say that. He's not stupid like you, man. But you can appeal to format again when I give you an opportunity to speak, that it's the mute button that's the defence to this argument, which it isn't. That's a fallacy.
Mute, 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 mute.
Yeah, it's third time in a row. Appeal to format. Yeah, I'm muting you so you don't get to talk through the devastating argument, as you normally do. We all know that. You claiming appeal to format is just going to appeal to the retards like yourself. You go, yeah, he muted him. Yet you could hear him, audience. Every time you heard him was an opportunity for him to address the fact he claimed looming explains the horizon looming. When Andrew Young, his citation, does not say that. He doesn't say the horizon's moving with respect to the horizon. That's nonsense. Let's see if he appeals to the format again when I give him a chance to address that.
Mute, mute, mute. Andrew.
Yeah. Mute, mute, mute. That's appeal to format fallacy. You're not addressing my argument. You're addressing the fact that when I speak, I don't want you interrupting, so I have to mute you. You don't give me any alternative.
Mute, mute, mute. You see, you've had lots of sentences, Nathan, and I've only had none.
I run the show. Mute, 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 mute is an appeal to format fallacy. You're never going to address your fallacious use of reasoning when addressing your incorrect citation from Andrew Young, and the fact that it doesn't back your argument that the horizon is looming above the horizon, which makes absolutely no sense, and Andrew Young agrees with me.
Mute, mute, mute. Andrew Young agrees with me.
Yeah, he does. He agrees with me that things are moving with respect to the horizon. He's your subject matter expert who believes in a sphere, the one you cited. And he's not saying the horizon looms above the horizon, which was your explanation. He's saying something completely contrary to that. He is saying that objects move with respect to it. That's not the horizon looming above the horizon. You ever going to address that?
Mute, mute, mute. He agrees with me completely, and I will explain this if you give me a chance to do so.
Explain or quote.
When he says, when abnormal refraction, I'm quoting here from him, increases the apparent elevation of distance, often lifting above the horizon, things below. But it doesn't mention what...
Above the horizon is not the horizon being loomed. You complete moron. You've just backed my argument and my point.
Yeah, it's entirely backing mine if you let me finish.
Sorry, it's entirely backing yours as your response. A hand wave. No, it's not backing you. It's backing us. It's things moving with respect to the horizon is not your explanation for the black swan, which gives your geometric horizon a massive value. And you're saying it's apparent. And it's only apparent because it can loom with respect to itself. No, that's doublespeak nonsense.
Mute, mute, mute.
Yeah, we need to stop muting him because when he's not here, he's
and he doesn't mention the fact that the horizon is also loomed. But he doesn't mention that, and you can't...
He doesn't mention that.
So then why would you cite him?
Yeah, he doesn't mention that. So it's not backing your argument. Maybe appeal to format while I point out that you've just agreed with us. He does not say what you have argued.
Mute, 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 mute.
Yeah, appeal to format fallacy times 5. Yeah, as you've just conceded, he does not say that.
Mute, 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 mute.
Yeah, times 6. He doesn't back your argument that the horizon's looming with respect to the horizon. Appeal to format fallacy is all you can attack.
Mute, mute, mute. He backs me completely.
Based on what?
In this diagram, that if you bother to look at the web page, he would show that things on the horizon are also moved up. The horizon is a physical thing that is changed.
Sorry, things on the horizon are moving above the horizon, but the horizon is also a physical thing moving with respect to the horizon. This is complete doublespeak nonsense.
Things on the horizon are things that are also loomed up. So, for instance, if you had a book...
Things on the horizon aren't the horizon. They're the things that Andrew Young refers to when he uses the words objects. Yeah, that's things on the horizon. That's not the horizon
You have
itself.
had minutes and minutes and minutes to have your bit, and you've barely given me a sentence.
I don't have to give you jack while you appeal to format continually. Andrew Young makes it clear that it's objects with respect to the horizon. You're reading it out and saying that if you only understood that the objects with respect to the horizon, the horizon also moves. That's what you're saying.
The horizon does also move.
The one part that you want to cite, you just said is not even being said by the guy that you're citing.
And that the horizon is an object. The things that are loomed up on the horizon are objects.
Sorry, things that are loomed up on the horizon are the horizon as an object. That's total double speak.
The horizon consists of objects, you idiot. Like the...
No, the horizon is an arbitrary position where the sky appears to meet the ground, a not actual location that changes with the weather and your altitude and various other things that you can factor in to that not actual location moving. Now, you need it to be a geometrical physical edge of a sphere that blocks things in the distance and seem to be arguing our point that it's a not actual location being loomed. Now, even though the horizon by definition cannot be loomed, things, objects, according to the citation you give us, are loomed with respect to it, you still want to claim that when they define that things move with respect to the horizon, that actually means they're saying the horizon is one of those objects. It isn't. That's doublespeak nonsense.
There is an Australian flat earther who takes videos of the horizon from his conservatory, and the horizon moves up and down due to different looming conditions. You utter moron.
So therefore we win. It's not geometric then.
Not a physical.
Sorry, hold on. Let me just... Guys! For the love of Jesus! So, how do you make a horizon dip measurement to give you your R value then if it's not physical geometric?
It varies a little bit, but you pick on a day when...
That's not what I asked. I asked how you get your R value from a horizon dip measurement if it's not physical.
The horizon is the apparent horizon is based on the geometry of the Earth. It's related to it.
No, sorry. I asked how you get your geometric measurement of a radius value if it's not physical, because the claim is that the radius represents the physicality of the sphere that we live on. How are you getting a horizon dip measurement if it's not actual?
It's close to it.
Close to what? If it's not physical and you're getting the R value from the horizon dip, what you're saying is you're getting a close value to the not actual radius value from a not actual location you extract the R value from.
It gives you a reasonable value. It's not exact. There are other ways of getting the radius that are better, but it's one good way of getting an approximate value for the radius. And the apparent horizon is close to the geometric horizon on most refractive conditions. On those oil rigs, in the one that you keep on citing as the black swan argument, those are very unusual refraction conditions where the rays of light are almost curving at the same radius as the Earth, and that gives the impression the radius is flat and then moves the horizon very much further back.
I don't understand that. Sorry, that's something I don't understand. The radius is flat. You don't have flat radius. Something that's flat doesn't have a radius. What are you talking about? Flat radius? That's nonsense.
Yeah, no, I didn't say it was. You idiot. You didn't.
You said that gives you a flat radius. Those were your exact words.
The curvature, the view, right, let's try again. The curvature of the rays on unusual conditions, i.e. the conditions that you've got for that black swan oil rig, the rays are what are called circulating. That means they follow the curvature of the Earth because of the unusual refractive conditions, such that the Earth would appear flat. This is a very normal circumstance. The horizon moves up and down as documented by a flat earther in Sydney looking out. So your claim that the horizon doesn't move is utter idiocy. We have got video documented movement of the horizon due to looming. And
we understand that, but that would mean that it's not a physical geometric sphere edge then.
It is a form of it's a representation of the geometric edge.
The geometrical edge is physical.
Yes, it is. And
well, this is not that. So it's definitely not a representation of a physical edge, because it's not physical in any way. It's apparent.
Everything we see in light is apparent. Light.
Sorry. No, not if you're measuring it and claiming it's got geometry and is the edge of a sphere. It's not.
All light is apparent.
We've heard that 3 times, you stuttering, stammering fool.
Yeah, I have to explain some things to an idiot.
No, you're not going to ad-hom your way out of this, you stupid dick. No. You're claiming Earth has a physical geometry. We're back to this. You don't understand geometry.
Yes, it has a physical geometry. It's
No, it doesn't. You've just said that the curve of the Earth curve edge, is apparent. So no, it doesn't have geometry. Is the apparent horizon apparent or physical? Which one is it?
The apparent horizon is based on the geometry, you moron.
It can't be based on the geometry if you're getting that geometry based on an R value. That's circle jerking. It's called the do-si-do of begging the question.
Well, you're an idiot. You don't understand.
Sorry, that's an ad hom. Oh, you seem very scared to address my rebuttal.
You don't have a rebuttal.
So I've just given it you. You've just said the horizon is physical. And then I've said, is it apparent then? Because you're saying it moves with the day according to a flat earther that you're now citing, because you take the evidence of flat earthers very seriously and understand that they're all true and that's the best cited sources you can get, because Andrew Young, a globe earther, didn't back you, but this flat earther does. So that's all very well and good. And when you cite this flat earther for demonstrating that the horizon is not a physical edge of the sphere, it's apparent, then it doesn't have geometry. It's not an actual location. Don't you understand geometry?
Right. Let's try this. Let's imagine you're an ant or some small animal on top of a basketball.
Well, that would be assuming that we're on a ball already with your example. I'm not trying to get to the conclusion where we start with us being on a ball. That's called begging the question. I just explained that. Do-si-do banjo of begging the question, and you want to start on a ball? What? Yeah, beg the question. Don't piss in my face, little man. Don't say, let's start our example on a ball. That's begging the question.
Right, I'm demonstrating a principle to you. And see if
I don't want you to demonstrate a principle. I'm trying to get an answer. Is the horizon the physical edge of a sphere, or is it apparent? Which one is it? It can't be both.
Everything, the result of it being communicated to us via light, is apparent, of course.
So then it's not the physical geometry of a sphere, then?
It represents the geometry. It's
no, it doesn't. It can't represent physicality. It's either physical or it isn't, you stupid little man.
The light that comes to us isn't physical.
Stop babbling about the light that comes to us. We're talking about the physical edge of your sphere belief. It's either a physical geometric edge, or, as you seem to be arguing now, it's apparent. Aren't you supposed to be the one arguing it for it being physical and geometric?
I've always said it's apparent, you twat. You've never listened.
So it's always been apparent. So it's not a geometric sphere edge then. So not a sphere, not geometric.
It's based on the geometry.
No, it's not based on physicality. It's not physical.
Nothing we see is physical, you twat.
Yeah, everything I see is physical. I'm holding physical stuff now. I'm tapping on my physical mic.
We see things via light.
Don't rumpus me, you little shit. Don't rumpus me. It's either physical and the geometric edge of a sphere, or, as you are arguing, our point, it's not the physical edge of a sphere. It's apparent. Not physical. Not geometric. Not the edge of a sphere. Apparent.